And hello for another episode of the VOD Squad. This is Clyde. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
This is not an episode where throwing Absolute together at the very last minute because I didn't realize it was Wednesday. That never happens. This is actually episode 72, recorded on March 7th, 2018. I'm Clyde. Today I'm joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey, Clyde.
And Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
This is a weird day. There are disappearing messages on Twitter that I swear I saw and responded to, and apparently responded to wrong. Somehow didn't realize it was Wednesday. I don't know what's going on today.
Clyde, it's okay. You can have a mulligan. It's
is it
all
May
right.
Day? Is today May Day? That's
No.
May 1st, right?
No, that's May 1st.
Yeah. Is it May?
No. March.
Did we somehow skip
Even that
April?
close.
Yeah. Not quite.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit out of it, apparently. But
What?
at least everybody's here all nice and healthy and, well, I guess minus a Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's not here. I'm sick, and I don't know how Mike's doing.
I'm doing great.
Oh, good. I'm glad
All right. At
somebody's
least
doing
one of us is. I am glad you guys are here because otherwise I don't know what I would do with myself today.
So, has anybody done doing anything fun recently?
I don't know. I guess it depends on your definition of fun.
It could be anything from climbing mountains to playing video games to
Working
watching
long hours to achieve a project that was thrown together hastily and way too little time. If
That
that's
sounds
the
like
case,
fun.
then yes. Welcome to my life for the last few weeks.
Sorry, man, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, that does suck. I've been having fun with the flu, but I'm over that now, so I'm all happy. In fact, I think pretty much everybody in my family is finally over it, so.
All right. That is good.
The upper respiratory infections are going around in my house. I got it first, and I spread it around. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, we got an extra dose of winter the other day. Well, we got a few days where it was like, oh, hey, we might actually get spring. Maybe that damned ground rat was wrong. And then, like 2 days ago, nope, blizzard. And I want to strangle something. Any furry little creature that lives in the woods, better watch out because... I don't care if you're a groundhog. I don't know what a groundhog actually looks like, but I might mistake something and kick it. So for that reason, I'm staying inside and I'm not venturing out into the furry woodland creature areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of many good reasons to stay inside. There are many good reasons to go outside too, but that's fine.
All right. Yeah, let me... and on that note, hey... We got any good news this week?
Let's start talking by a furry little creature called Fox. Fox has made a nice little announcement in the Wall Street Journal. Well, apparently it's a story in the Wall Street Journal about how they're looking at possibly changing the ad format on their televisions, their broadcast network, television network, where they're going to reduce the ad time that's on television. they want to reduce it down to 2 minutes per hour by the year 2020. That's a huge difference based on how big it usually is, anywhere from 13 minutes to 16 minutes per hour of commercials, which is amazing.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing. I occasionally watch Fox News, and thinking of this in a context of Fox News, some of the commercial breaks are over 3.5 minutes long for a single commercial break. So when you've got 4, 5, 6 of those in an hour, I'm pretty sure that there's just about as much commercial as there is news, right? And so that's, if they could do this across the entire network, that would be incredible.
I mean, that's good for the consumer. Mm-hmm. What I want to know is how much does that represent waning ad revenues, or the fact that they've got space that's unsold?
So apparently this is something that is affected by cord cutting. So this is absolutely, they're feeling the effect of all the cord cutters out there. But the other interesting thing about this is it looks like since he wants to reduce it down to only 2 minutes per hour, he's making it a very scarce commodity, which means he can charge a lot more for it. So
exactly.
You may only get one ad, but it better be a really good ad for somebody who paid a lot of money for that one ad for your show, which, if you ask me, is brilliant. I approve. I applaud this. Let's see this happen. Well, it also was a story about NBC looking to reduce it by 10%, which doesn't seem like much, but this is the big cheese being moved here. So
yeah, so I say this is good for the consumer, the viewer. Well, I won't notice because Fox is the main channel I have Hulu ad-free for. So,
So this is one thing that you've got to think about, to me, and it makes me question how good this really is for the consumer. Because the reality is they're not going to take a 90% cut in revenue. So they're going to find a way to make up for it in some way, whether they sell the ads for more money, they do more in product placement type advertising, or what. They're going to find a way to make up in some way for this loss of revenue. So I don't know how much this really impacts us as far as consumers making. Yeah, you don't have as much time to fast forward commercials, but there's going to be something somewhere.
We just got another subscription. W Scott has one resubscribe for the second month in a row.
What?
Thank you. Sorry to bust in on that. That had to be said. But no, I agree with you.
I think I agree with you guys too. Moving on, we have YouTube TV. They've been adding some channels. It sounds like they're adding NBA TV and MLB Network available now. Previously this week, they also added a couple other channels. I know tennis and another channel, I can't remember. They've been adding a lot of these little channels, but I'm curious if you guys think, now that YouTube TV has been getting all these different sports channels on it, and it also has TBS, and it has your local stations. Is it becoming the really good option if you want to watch sports?
I don't ever watch sports, so
that's why I'm asking you. You should tell us if you think so.
I think it's becoming a good option for sports.
I would say that I feel like YouTube TV is becoming one of the best options all around. I mean, I feel like we make more announcements about YouTube TV than anything else. Now, admittedly, they are also much newer than things like Sling and PlayStation Vue, so there should be more announcements. But they came out with a highly competitive package up front, and they have continued to improve what their offerings are all the way along. So I kind of feel like YouTube may be the one to beat at this point. While they're still not anywhere near the top of the ranks, they seem to be going up way faster and providing a much better better improvements to their product and kind of looking to the future a lot more effectively than some of the others. So,
well, I'm certain all the other streaming vendors are all out there going, well, we can do that too. Why don't we do that too? And all this is going to be, they'll all find their own niches and ways to get these different things. The question is, which one is the one that catches people's eye? And right now, it seems like Sling is the winner, right? They've got all the subscribers still, and YouTube TV last time we heard didn't have a million, I forget. So they still have a lot of catching up to do. That being said, I really do like YouTube TV.
Yeah, but again, they're 4 or 5 months old, basically, at least in most markets, compared to Sling, that's
around for 2 years.
2 years. So, and I would say that they're in a better position than Sling was at Sling's age. In fact, I would argue they're probably in a better position than anybody was at this particular point in their life cycle.
Well, this sports question, whether or not it's good for people who are looking to sports, when I signed up for YouTube TV a while ago, there was a question. My wife wanted to see a game that was on TBS, and I said, "Oh, well, we might be able to stream it on YouTube TV." And this is before they got TBS recently, so. Believe it or not, we were right then going, oh man, that's one of those things we wish we had on this thing. We're getting fewer and fewer of those channels where it's like, I wish it had this. I think Discovery is one, and I think there might be another one out there, or a couple other ones out there that it doesn't have that I wish it had. But it's got a pretty good selection for us. So,
yeah, I don't really have much to add. I've been testing YouTube TV a little bit.
You have?
I have. Thanks to one of our generous viewers who was nice enough to add me to his family. So I guess he's part of the VOD Squad family now. But, yeah. I have not. One thing I have not done with it is watch any sports.
Oh, well. That's kind of expected. I know you don't watch sports ball.
I don't. I met a guy today who's into curling, and I don't mean watching, like actually he goes to the curling club and curls in his free time.
Nice.
I was like, yeah. But that's about
excited.
as close.
You didn't have any kind of like, well, that's cool kind of feeling about that?
Oh, no, I did. I told him, I was like, oh, wow, it caught me off guard. And I said, wait, you're a curler? He said, yeah. I was like, oh, that's cool.
So is he the guy that pushes we
didn't get that far.
Or is the guy that scrubs the... Okay.
I didn't get a chance to grill him about that. But it was a side comment. But
I want to know.
I'd watch that if they had a curling channel. But...
there's a certain set of sports where I would watch a lot of too, but maybe not 24 hours of them, but if they could intermingle them, like... Yeah, I could see that, but yeah. DirecTV now has now officially lists on their website that they will be offering 20 hours of their DVR service for free with any of their existing plans, and that if you want to buy additional storage, you will be paying more. This is an update on their website that has been found that shows that the 20 hours for free will be available. No information about when the actual DVR will become available to all users.
Of course not. I want to do the happy dance, but I'm hesitant because there's no time frame. So
no,
it's the same story they've been telling us since last year.
Soon.
Yeah. They just dropped the soon.
Yeah. To me, a service, and I've said this every time we talk about any service that doesn't have a DVR, it's not a viable service without a DVR. So 20 hours, I don't know if that even counts, though. Like, that's such a limited quantity of DVR space that if a cable company told me, oh, we'll give you a DVR free with your service, and it's only got 20 hours, I'd be like, yeah, that doesn't even count. I'm not even going to consider that. I'm going to pay you the $10 for a real DVR that's got, 100 hours, 160 hours, or whatever. So it's a token gesture that really doesn't actually do anything for the vast majority of people. So I think it's a little bit ridiculous. Just give us a real DVR and charge us what you need to make money off of it.
Well, if it's just bits being stored somewhere, and if it's got any kind of deduplication logic behind it, if that's allowed, I mean, I can't imagine that's not allowed. It should cost almost nothing to do this for them, for their viewers, to just DVR every channel, like YouTube TV essentially does. But I don't know. I don't know how they do it in the back end. Probably they can't do it due to some law.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the deduplication thing is ultimately what I think causes the question, right? Like, do they get into some sort of trouble with saying, oh, well, we recorded this show and we'll show it to 60 people, or do they have to have 60 copies for the 60 people? I don't know. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter, though. If I'm paying $45 a month, then you can pay the, $3 that it costs you to store that data, and it's not even going to be anywhere near that. Like in reality, it's like 3 cents or 30 cents to store that 100.
It'll cost a nickel or a dime if they happen to lose a hard drive.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like I said, it's a token gesture. It's a pittance. It doesn't really provide what customers want. So I think it's a ridiculous gesture, and it might trick some people in, and then once they're in, they might stick with it and upgrade. But the vast majority of people aren't going to be happy with this, and it seems like a ridiculous gesture. Man up, charge the right price, charge what you feel like you need to for the real product that people want, and if you can't sell that, then you need to change your product.
Yeah. Well, if this is the one thing that they're missing, so for everybody to actually compare it with everything else. So after, I would love to see if we could do some real comparisons once they all become available to generally most platforms. And I think DirecTV's DVR is now the last thing we're waiting for us to do a real, hey, for this much you can get this channel or this one or this one or this one, and here's what each one does or doesn't get. Let you have a nice, good lineup of that. This could be a very good infographic, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Either way, I just want it.
I know you're paying for it.
Yeah. I wonder. Does anybody disagree with me? Am I over the top on my valuation of the DVR? Or?
Well, since PlayStation Vue gives it to you for free, and since YouTube gives it to you for free, no.
Unlimited 28 days on PlayStation Vue.
No.
It
doesn't sound unreasonable to me.
Well,
now that being said, a guy who is actually into sales will say, "Oh, but our DVR is better, and it can do this and that and whatever." There's somebody could spin it one way or another.
I mean, you're paying for storage. As long as they're not charging you for the DVR function, that would be where I have a problem. They say, "Oh, hey, we got a DVR now, but it's going to cost you an extra $5 as an add-on." That I would have a problem with. Them saying, "Hey, you get this much storage for free, and if you need more," because realistically, how many people need more than 20 hours? Realistically, I don't know.
When I had a DVR, other than the first week that I owned it, there was never a point where I had less than 20 hours on it. Probably more in the neighborhood of I had to regularly delete shows to keep my 100 hours not full. Yeah. I mean, you're never going to watch all those shows, but it's the comfort of knowing that you can pull up that HGTV show that you want when you want to just sit down and watch that show that's not important to you, but you want to watch it because that's what you want to watch right now. And that stuff, that kind of like cannon fodder, if you have a 20-hour DVR, you can't do that. You cannot have shows that you kind of occasionally might want to watch. And that's what I get with PlayStation Vue. That's what I get even with Time Warner regular cable, is I get a big enough DVR that I can record a bunch of shows, and occasionally I might have to go in and delete some stuff, but the majority of the time, I just let it record and drop off the oldest episodes of those shows. And like I said, 20 hours just doesn't mean anything to me. I wouldn't even consider it.
Yeah. Yes. And as Wabbit points out in the chat, with YouTube TV, you'd lack the ability to remove episodes from your from the DVR, which even though you've got that space, that's not a good thing. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't find stuff because you end up with so much stuff, then that does definitely become problematic.
Yeah.
So my wife and I almost always record full seasons of stuff before we actually sit down and watch it. Okay. We're right now watching Lethal Weapon, which is a really good show.
Oh, you can watch that for free on Fox Now.
I know I can, but we're watching it on our DVR just because we can skip commercials and all that fun stuff.
It is a great show.
And we're only like 2 or 3 episodes in, but it is so good. And we can go, let's watch another one, or not tonight. Let's watch another one tomorrow. But we have to go at our own pace at that point.
Go back a few episodes when I guess maybe it was back in September when I was talking about that, because I binged the first season right before season 2 came out. And yeah, that's a great show. But yeah, like most people, I think, would just record the things they're currently watching. Because I know, like, when I had my TiVo, and I used the TiVo as it was my life for probably 10 years or more. And my 50-hour TiVo, I don't think I ever, even at my peak usage, got more than 10 or 20% full. So I mean, all I use is my own, usage when I think about the metrics. But yeah, I don't know. I think for me, this DirecTV Now 20 hours, I think is decent.
Okay.
I don't know about I don't necessarily know about the price, what the price is for the extra 100. And that's where it can be problematic. If they say it's another $20 for 100, okay, yeah, that's not cool. If it's like $3, yeah, probably not an issue, But
make their money where they can, right?
Yeah. Can't fault them for that.
Yeah, I can.
I can.
But you guys aren't using that service anyway, so...
Exactly. It's why we can fault them. We have no real experience or understanding, so we can totally judge them.
They get my $10 a month. I'll take the free 20 hours. I'm probably never going to use it anyway.
It's fair. Moving on, our next story. Netflix has made improvements now that they have the new version of their parental controls. It looks like the parental controls page has been simplified to allow a little bit easier understanding of how to set your controls and restrict things, but also allows you to put a specific pin on a specific show or movie, which is interesting. I was wondering, so I was thinking about this, is why would this be a big deal? And actually, something did come up to me. There's the Disney Pixar movie, Inside Out. It came out about the same time we moved here, and so it's a movie about somebody moving to a new place. And so my son, he possibly could have related to what was happening in the movie, and the little girl tries to run away. So for that one reason, we just kind of said, for now, let's skip that. That would have been good to be able to have that kind of control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just because we just let's just not put any ideas in anybody's heads in case he feels like he wanted to go back to his old place. And so we didn't.
Yeah, I think these kinds of features, it can't hurt anything to have. And while I suspect I probably won't use it, I can imagine, I certainly know that my parents would have loved to have had something like this when I was a kid, because there were all kinds of shows. Oh, you can't watch The Simpsons because you'll get bad ideas from Bart. And You know, my parents
It's
would
Homer.
have been able to
It's
lock
not
me
Bart.
out.
Well, in the early days, it was Bart.
Well,
That
and
was
they
the whole
didn't
point.
watch enough of the show to know. They just saw enough to see that this sassy little kid was not the way they wanted their son to learn how to talk to his parents. And so, but I mean, so they would have liked that kind of feature to just be say, okay, turn off MTV and turn off The Simpsons. And that would have worked well. And so I can understand these concepts. I like the approach. I probably won't generally use it. My kids, at least at this point, they err on the side of asking me more than I even want. I was like, of course you can go watch your TV show. It's like but that's because my older daughter is very particularly about the rules. She like can't handle people breaking rules. It's awesome as long as it stays that way. Please stay that way.
Find some wood, knock on it. Find some wood, knock on it.
The first thing that pops into mind is there was an episode of Silver Spoons back in the 80s about this very subject because their cable box had a PIN code for certain channels.
Hold on, just 1 second. Silver Spoons, fill me in. I don't know what that is.
Oh, you've never seen? It was kind of like a Richie Rich TV show. That's where Alfonso Ribeira got his start before Fresh Prince.
I'll go look at
it. Was the blonde dude from NYPD Blue. Did you watch NYPD Blue? Ricky Schroeder?
Not much.
What are you, like 20 or something?
No.
You got to remember, he grew up Quaker. They did nothing but eat oatmeal. They didn't get to watch TV.
I love oatmeal.
And, no, I mean, there was, Ricky Schroeder's character, he got his parents the PIN code for the cable box so they could watch the adult channel. But of course he got caught. And as sitcoms go. I think it was on around, was it on after Who's the Boss? Or it might have been on a different channel, I don't remember.
I don't think it was, but I can't remember because it's far enough back. I remember watching the show, and I remember the show, but
yeah. I just remember their living room. He had a whole bunch of arcade games in the living room.
Well, and he had the train that he could ride on.
Yeah,
right?
he could ride that train. He was like a kid millionaire kind of situation. Yeah. But yeah, watch Silver Spoons.
Right.
Okay.
Add
that to your DVR. There might be new episodes someday.
Really?
A remake.
You know, they remake everything else, right?
Yeah. Actually, I hope they don't.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up the thing. But no, I mean, so this is not a new concept. I do like the fact that you're able to do that on specific content, though, because it used to be certain channels. It was you had to. That was a selling feature of cable boxes until in the late 80s, early 90s, TVs started allowing you to do it natively on the TV. But then that always proved to be an issue because someone would set the code inadvertently while messing with the remote. Now nobody can watch that one channel that everybody watches, and it's frustrating. And this way, but I've got kids. There's certain things. They're getting to the point where the kids' version of Netflix is not going to necessarily meet all their needs anymore. And there's definitely content I don't want them delving into. Sorry, kids, you're not old enough for Altered Carbon yet. And so I'm all for this.
I think this is good. And one of the points that they put on here, of course, is that this is obviously timed well for the upcoming separation of the Disney content from from the Netflix suite, right? So as we look at a year down the road when a lot of the Disney content is pulled out of Netflix and put in Disney's own service, this is going to be really important for Netflix to continue having a child-safe and child-friendly environment where parents feel like they have enough control and they have enough confidence in what their kids are able to see, so that parents don't say, well, I keep Netflix largely for my kids, because I've heard that a lot. That a good portion of the reason that some adults keep Netflix is because of their kids. Like, there's a lot of other options for adult content, and but Netflix is easy for the kids, right? Like, it's very, very well separated and very easy for the kids to find the content that they want and to not be introduced to a bunch of stuff that they don't want. That's one of the things that I find lacking kind of in Amazon's arena, is that, like, Amazon Video, the Prime Video, it doesn't seem like there's a clear separation of children's content and adult content. Netflix is totally plain and clear. There's Netflix Kids, and everything in there is relatively appropriate for kids. But a lot of that content's going to go away, and at that point, then you start to say, well, is this really got everything I need? Should we switch over to Disney and go to the Disney service?
Right.
I'll probably do both. That's my expectation, because I find a lot of content I care about. But this will be important for them as that happens.
Yeah, that does bring up a good question about what kind of kids shows will Netflix be able to hold on to once all the Disney stuff goes away. Does that whittle away to something that feels much more hollow? And maybe it does make people consider dropping Netflix if it's for their kids, kind of thing. It's a good question. I'm curious what will happen there.
What Netflix really needs is an in-between point, because the kids version, the problem with it is a different UI meant for little kids. They don't have a search function, and you click around based on pictures, and I can see, like, 12-year-olds going, yeah, I don't want to use this. It feels like it's for babies. They need something that's in the middle, that's more, allows them to search and favorite and do, like, watch lists and that kind of thing, but still restrict, natively based on, but.
Well,
right,
yeah,
and that's what this really provides, right? I'm assuming,
exactly.
I'm assuming that this provides the ability to lock on specific accounts too, and maybe pin code accounts, so that in order to switch over to my account, I would have to enter my PIN, and for the kids to see their account, like, they can enter their thing. And so as long as they provide that kind of functionality, this really cleans that solution up. So you can just let your older kids have access to anything that you approve for their account, which would be, maybe TV 14 and below, and just basically block out TVMA and
exactly. And that's what I was saying. I misspoke. I meant to say this is more of that midpoint that they've been lacking, that they've needed.
Right.
So yeah.
Another little thing they're going to be doing is they're going to be starting to display the actual maturity level of the show at the beginning of the show. So you're going to probably see somewhere on the screen, whether it's on the corner of a pre-roll little thing pop up to say this show is TV 14 or whatever. So
I like that a lot, because a lot of times we start watching a show and then we realize that, because, like, my kid will, even on Netflix Kids, my 5-year-old will pick something and then we'll start watching it and we'll realize, this is really geared towards that tween audience, and this is maybe somewhat inappropriate for a 5-year-old. But if it popped up at the front of the show, then I would immediately see, hey, let's pick something else.
Right. Yeah. That more powers to control per your accounts and have more fine control of individual shows. Good on you, Netflix. I'm sure somebody somewhere will find a way to complain about it, but that's okay. I think it's pretty cool.
I think I'm going to go into my account later and see if this is available yet.
All right, we're going to move on to a story here on Fierce Cable about Disney Communications, Discovery Communications, not Disney, sorry. Remember last week we talked about the fact that they said they wanted to get on everybody's streaming services, and they're like, oh, we want to actually try to get on and put our stuff on the Sling TVs and all that. Well, now they also are looking at possibly making their own streaming service that you can go ahead and pay $6 for a month. I don't know. what do you? Which way would you rather have it? Here's the question: would you, if you had, obviously, if you could get it for no cost whatsoever on your existing streaming service, you'd probably want to get to Discovery channels that way. But let's say it included a little bump in price because they want their money. And would you rather have that, or would you rather have a separate streaming service, kind of like a CBS All Access or something like that, just for Discovery networks?
I don't know.
I know what I think.
Here's the thing. I totally love the idea of this being a separate thing, with the caveat that I want it to be offered just like CBS All Access through Amazon. So right now I buy CBS All Access through Amazon as an Amazon subscription. It's in my Amazon account. I can easily cancel it from one place, and it just is integrated into my my Fire TV bars. And so it's super easy to get to. It's totally seamless to watch CBS All Access shows with all of the rest of my content. So if this provided the same functionality where I could subscribe through my Amazon account, man, this would be brilliant, because then I really am getting exactly what I want, paying pretty much for the things that I care about, and not having to pay for what I don't like. Yeah. Great.
I think the best way they could go is to give you kind of best a little of everything, right? Have it available for a couple bucks as an add-on to, let's say, Hulu or TV or Sling or whatever, or for a few bucks more you can just get the all-in, the buffet CBS All Access version that's standalone. So then it comes down to, someone that doesn't subscribe to an over-the-top service, they want Discovery, they have the so like the example would be like the difference between HBO Go and HBO Now, right? HBO Go is for people that are subscribed to cable and they have the access to it, or HBO Now, which is a little bit more money, side-by-side comparison, but you don't have that over-the-top cable bill. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's really a wrong answer, as long as there are people that want the product.
Right. And the Discovery, unfortunately, has been recently kind of I'm going to use the word dry as far as really good stuff.
I can't name a single show that is on a Discovery network.
Sorry?
My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic is on
right. Yeah.
Discovery Kids. That's the only thing that
I still think about it for that other channel that went away. The toy
Hasbro,
channel.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing, and that's...
Yeah, and if you wait a year, it ends up on Netflix anyway, so.
Well, there used to be a bunch of shows actually on Discovery itself that were good. I mean, I would watch the Science-y shows. I mean, how stuff is made. That show, how stuff is made. I forget what it's called, but I love that.
That was just a rebroadcast Canadian show.
I don't care.
That was awesome. Like recorded in the late 90s or whatever. But yeah, no, it is. But that's on Hulu. I watch it on Hulu.
Right, exactly. But they could do more of that kind of informational entertainment side stuff that that's used to be their bread and butter. They do have a reboot of the Mythbusters. I've watched an episode or two. They're okay. They're not the same.
They destroyed the first Mythbusters by scripting it, like in the second or third season. That's when I lost interest. But
I enjoyed it the whole time. But the new guys, you'd have to give them a season or two to see if they really catch get their feet on it.
They tried that. The kids from Mythbusters tried that with the White Rabbit Project.
Yeah.
On Netflix. Did that get more than one season?
I
don't think it did.
It was pretty good.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed the episodes that I watched, but admittedly, I didn't watch even all of the episodes, so that tells you something, right?
Yeah, and part of the reason I stopped watching MythBusters in the first place is because of those people, and so I'm not going to watch the show by them.
The last few seasons, their contract was up, and so there's just Adam and Jamie.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the way it started. And that's the way I liked the show.
So you should watch the last couple seasons.
But still, at that point was also when it got super scripted. Anyway, I liked the first season where it was just kind of them going, yeah, kind of, we don't know what we're doing, and then it was off the cuff. That was fun. It was real. It felt good, natural. And then everything started getting scripted, and they added a bunch of kids, and it was like, okay.
All right. Okay.
Damn kids, get off that lawn.
Well, I'm hoping that Discovery comes out with more awesome stuff like that for because we need it, and it's something that I feel like it's been missing, but it feels like we've got nothing but
you know what Discovery needs?
Car shows and the shows about opening somebody's abandoned little garage, and please no.
What Discovery really needs is a show with maybe 3 or 4 people that discusses streaming technology weekly. Discovery.
Yeah, I think that could go somewhere.
Yeah.
That could be.
It might work.
I don't
know. They have to pay the guys a lot of money.
Oh, that goes without saying.
I mean, a lot.
I think that they don't even have to pay them that much.
No.
Well, Mike, you're kind of killing the negotiation. Somewhere between a lot of money and not a lot. Well, give me a call, Discovery. I think I can put you in touch with some people.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm down for programming. It's just it's been reality TV killed TV for me, and all those stupid shows like My Big Fat Tiny House Hunter. Goes to Las Vegas. It's just like, and I think, and I've mentioned it before, I think the last straw was when I was super excited when I heard about Tiny House Hunters, but I was super disappointed when I tuned in to find out it wasn't little people buying houses. It was normal sized people buying tiny houses.
Ridiculously small houses.
Yes. Okay. And then they complain, it's too small. Well, well, there's not enough room for a bathtub. Well, duh. The house is barely bigger than my bedroom.
There was a show on DIY, on the Do It Yourself Network. And it was, we did watch the DIY channel because it was just something on. I wasn't really big on it. But there was one show that would be coming on every once in a while where it showed some amateur people trying to do some house repairs, and every once in a while it cuts away to like a text saying they didn't do it right, and basically showing all the bad stuff that's going on. I actually liked that show. That show was fun. I forget what that show was called. I have to look it up. But yeah, a lot of good stuff.
I hate reality TV, except, I really like Property Brothers, and reality TV is dumb, except Flip or Flop. And it's like, there are good reality TV shows out there if that's what you like, but most of it is garbage. And even the stuff that isn't garbage probably is garbage. You just like that particular type of garbage.
That was the influx of reality TV in the mid 2000s, I will say, is what caused me and my wife to stop watching TV together, which ended up causing a bigger problem. And it was all because all she wanted to watch was that reality stuff, and I could not physically sit through. To quote W. Scottis, TLC ruined Clyde's TV watching. Yeah, TLC used to be the learning channel, and you know what it taught me? It taught me I hate people. At least the people that they portray on TV, and I can't sit through one of those shows without wanting to punch something. And I can't do it.
Okay, so I've looked it up, and the name of the show that I was talking about on DIY is called Renovation Realities. If you're bored and want to have a little cheap laugh, watch an episode of that and just laugh at how stupid they are, because it's hilarious.
Oh yeah. I like some kind of. I've been watching This Old House for 15, 20 years on PBS, but that's different, because it's not all personalities. And I like that stuff. I like instructional stuff. I like, but I have to fast forward through the stuff where they have like the owners of the houses and they're like, you know what? We really want these colors. And what about this one? I have to fast forward through that crap. But when they're actually like explaining what a LVL is and how to install it, I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. That wraps it up for the news, right?
It does.
I thought we had something to discuss about that. I swear, someone named M-Beam had tweeted at us earlier about Fox, and maybe I hallucinated it, because I can't seem to find the tweet, and the tweet that I responded to it ends up being something completely different. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but let me bring this up. I don't know if either of you have any experience with the Fox streaming channel.
Ooh.
I think the gist of the tweet was that why is it that the Fox streaming app requires cable authentication, yet the Fox streaming app can be accessed from the Plex and watch those shows for free with no authentication. And I didn't get a chance to test it out because I didn't realize it was Wednesday. Late in the day, I forgot it was Wednesday. So I don't know. You guys know anything about this?
So you probably have to install the channel into it, which I'm right now on my Plex server to see how difficult it would be to install.
I don't dare fire up my Plex server. It's installed on this computer, and it might make our stream go away.
Well, that'd be no good. So I have to go find it. So we'll go to news, because I'm certain is it Fox News?
Yes. Well, I think,
right.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, but I don't. That would be an authentication question. It would be a very good question of why it would work on.
One way, and I was curious if anybody had any experience with that, or if anybody had a specific answer. I would assume that it depends. Like most things, it's your mileage may vary. That they have agreements with for certain platforms, where with the cable companies that cover or that carry them, they say, okay, we won't let anybody access it on an Apple TV or a Chromecast or whatever without authenticating through you. Oh, they never said anything about Plex. Okay, yeah, we can and then the lawyers say, yeah, you can legally do that because it doesn't say anything in this agreement. It's stuff like that. Would be my assumption.
Well, just heading over to it, it looks like it doesn't give me any live feed, but it does give me news clips and show clips.
Okay.
And
I thought the tweet said something about full episodes, but I don't know.
So I'm just going to go ahead and go to the tech section and go to latest tech. And we'll see if it asks me for any kind of authentication. Now, the other option is possible is that I don't know if you're a Plex Pass member, but if you're a Plex Pass member, that means you are sending a little bit of money to Plex, which means Plex is sometimes kicking money back to other people as well.
Yep.
It is possible that you are sending money that they're getting paid that way, and your authentication is essentially through Plex at that point.
And that was going to be my other question, is when you went to install that, is that one of the ones that requires a Plex Pass? Because Plex Pass would give you the equivalent of authentication, through standalone app. But
Okay, well, I just was able to bring up a clip with no authentication required, but I do have a Plex Pass, so that's a good question. I don't know. They're getting away with it for free. Somebody stop them, or keep it quiet. Don't tell anybody on the internet.
So
I don't know. Which way do you want to go?
Maybe I'll look into it a little bit further. I'll try it out here and see if I can dig around and find some info, and maybe we'll have an update next week. But I think that that wraps up our first actual installment in the TBS mailbag.
What?
Mailbag. I don't have a bumper for it. It was that used to be on the show notes was mailbag, but nobody ever wrote in. So I'm gonna have to add that back.
Now people should know that they have an opportunity. They could write something in, and we actually talk
as
about
I say at the end of every episode. If you,
I know you say it, but they don't understand.
We address every single email we receive. We have 100% records. Just saying.
I honestly, and a couple weeks ago, I revealed that I don't know the last time I looked at the VOD Squad email account. And I said, I should go do that. Well, I didn't go do that. So I still don't know when the last time I did that. There might be emails in there. So, yeah, tweet at us. And I might better chance of seeing it. If you have any questions or thoughts.
100% record of our Twitter account.
That one, at least other people can see it and say, hey, so-and-so tweeted at you and you never responded. Yeah. You have a question, thought, you just, something you want. Maybe we'll read it on the air and make idiots of ourselves live. But on to the next thing. I have the Funimation thing running through my head for some reason. You should be watching. Guys, what do you got? Rants, raves, just general.
I have one little thing that just my day was busy. I was rebuilding a computer cart today, and I was just kind of listening to what's going on in the news today on podcasts while I was listening to it, and I heard this story. I don't have any Amazon Echoes, so. But the story is that apparently some people's Echoes and other Amazon voice assistant enabled devices are unoccasionally, without warning, randomly laughing at you.
I like that.
They're just you're just kind of walking around and then you hear a little laugh.
I heard this story and I heard the laugh, and it is a horrifyingly creepy laugh. So it is awesome. I have not experienced it. We have a Dot and an Echo, and we haven't had that problem. But I gotta wonder if this is the work of a hacker or if this is an Easter egg that some disgruntled employee put in there.
That would not be an Easter egg. Because Easter eggs are something that.
Yeah, but. It was
hidden for you to find.
Sitting here watching the news one day, and he hears that his thing started happening. And
yes, if a disgruntled employee did that, that would be more of an exploit, right?
Yeah, well, I get it, but can you imagine being the guy that stuck that in there, and just you've left the company, and a year later, all of a sudden it starts popping up, and people are freaking out, and you're like, yes, I did that. That would be hilarious.
And it's funny that pops up this week because I don't know if anybody watches the X-Files, but that fits in with this last episode of the X-Files, which was all about AI going crazy and taking people hostage. Yeah.
Maybe there's a tie-in that we're just not aware of.
Maybe. It seems a little too convenient.
It's pretty funny. I got to give you that. I agree with you, Matt.
So out of all the different AIs out there, I figured the Amazon one would be the one that goes evil first.
Not Google?
Oh, no. Google will just, be that omnipotent, we are above you kind of,
So you're saying that the Google one, it will be a more
It will be. It evolved to the point where it doesn't understand our needs anymore, and we was like, "That's okay. You can pass away now." It's not being evil. It just becomes.
Yeah.
It just doesn't care at that point. That's how it will finally just try to destroy us. Amazon, I think, will just try to take over the world. I don't know what Cortana will do.
I don't. I'm surprised you think Cortana will do anything.
Yeah, I think Cortana will sit in the corner and cry.
You just start hearing crying every once in a while.
Bixby will just be big. Yeah.
Bixby will say, "What? Oh, what?" Sorry, I'm sorry. You mean, but I'm
Siri's still trying to find that right-hand turn off the middle of the freeway. So. All right. What about Mike? Anything else?
Honestly, I haven't had time to think about stuff. I'm still watching MacGyver. That's the only thing that's going on in my world right now. TV, or streaming, or whatever.
Rock on. I started, or actually, I watched completely on YouTube Red. Ryan Hansen solves crimes on TV. If you haven't watched it, even if you have no idea who Ryan Hansen is, you'll see him and go, "Oh, it's that guy." He's been in a lot of stuff. It is really funny, and it's a YouTube Red show. So you don't necessarily need YouTube TV. You just need access to YouTube Red. And I was dying because, like, throughout the series, people keep asking, "What is this for?" He goes, "YouTube Red, the porn site." And there's all these jokes about your porn show or the porn site. Like, even his first episode, he's like, "Yeah, YouTube oppressed," and I was like, I don't want to be on a porn site. Do I want to do a TV show on a porn site? Or not to be confused in that, they drop all kinds of references. It's really funny. Samira Wiley is in it as well from Orange is the New Black. And there's a lot of famous people show up playing themselves because he's playing himself as the kind of premise of the show is that Ryan Hansen, who is a somewhat known actor, is part of a program that the Los Angeles Police Department is placing actors with their cops to kind of be liaisons into the movie world. And so it's really funny. I recommend watching it. I watched one episode and I was hooked, and I ended up watching the whole season. So he got recast as the part of him, as played by him, got recast to Joel McHale at one point, and it was really good. So check that out.
Isn't there also going to be Cobra Kai on YouTube Red?
Yes, and
that's the other thing that people have been talking about that actually looks good. I mean, they actually have shows now that might be interesting to people.
I want to know, are they going to address the truth that came out a few years ago when it was revealed that Daniel was actually the villain of that movie? Have you not seen that video that shows it goes through the movie like piece by piece and shows that Daniel is not the hero. He is actually the villain.
I actually believe this, but I've not seen this. This sounds excellent.
I'll get it to you after. It is great. And because when I heard someone talking about it, I was like, oh, whatever. And then I watched it and I went, yeah, he is. Because, he starts all these fights unprovoked. He cheats to win. Nobody was bothering him. And he fights dirty, and it's like, oh yeah, he's
Good Weave is like going, stop spoiling it.
So yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we forgot to say spoiler alert on that 30-year-old movie.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith did not do anything. I don't know. I haven't seen that version, so. Was Jaden Smith version? Is he still Daniel Russo?
I don't think so.
Okay,
no.
But no, I'm actually kind of excited, and I want to see where they go with it. And after watching that video explaining that whole scenario, I now is it Billy Zane? Who's the main guy that plays the Cobra Kai guy? But I can totally understand why he would be fuming after all these years. And, but I don't know. I'm interested to see. Zabka. Billy Zabka.
William Zabka.
And I should know that because he was... because if you watched How I Met Your Mother, Barney always talked about the good guy from Karate Kid. And they brought in Ralph Macchio, and it was like, no. Billy Zabka. Billy Zabka was the hero. he was at the bachelor party.
Yeah. I actually, that's where I remember seeing this, because I remember the reversal of the movie, and that's where I saw it. It was on How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. So
it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'll get you a link to that, Matt. It's definitely worth watching. It's like only a couple minutes long. Oh, and then there's also, that reminds me, I watched the entire first season of Zach Morris's Trash. Have you guys seen that?
Nope.
It's a Funny or Die program. It's on YouTube. I watched it on Amazon Prime. It's kind of the same situation where they will break down an episode of Saved by the Bell and just show what a terrible person Zach Morris is. And it is definitely worth watching if you remember that show, because I come out of that going, yep, Zach Morris is a horrible human being.
You wanted
and
to say
the theme
something
song,
different.
Zach Morris is trash. That's the theme song. So I'll definitely watch it. It's in the kind of the same vein. The heroes that we grew up with, looking back going, oh, no, they definitely are not people that we should look up to or be model our lives after. Horrible decisions and self-serving everything. So, yeah, Zach Morris is trash. Maybe that's a title.